Okay, so this is, I really just wanted to do something about how arbitrarily you can fold things. Anything that's a pentagon or a triangle, if you make it about 3 layers, it's pretty easy to fold. This is so you see flat on, right? This is clearly just a pentagon. But then it has this funny foldy thing, which is basically that I kept twisting it in the same direction as I went. Now, you'll note that actually it's pretty easy to do this. If you look at, I think it's
So isn't it a
Ido
hexagon?
Timmerman's. Um, oh, did I say it was a triangle instead of a hexagon?
It says a pentagon, but I could have
Oh,
sworn it
yeah,
said
yeah, sorry, it's
hexagon.
hexagon. Yes, yes, you will note the 6 sides, not however many I said, but I don't know my Latin. Yeah, so, you just start, each of these layers is just a standard pentagonal roll up, and then I removed a huge pentagon from the middle, which is also folded. It's over here. Um, so, um, so the thing to realize is you can sort of bend them in place. If you look at Timmerman's videos, you'll see he'll do a thing where he'll have 2 layers and he'll put paper between them, and then he'll add more and he'll get up to 4, and then he'll remove the first one and remove the paper. But I'm not patient enough to do that. He might get better results that way. But I would note that we can just flatten this back out again. Here, I guess let's sort of do them, one by one to maybe make it a little more, you know. Now, if I had added a 4th layer, I think just from watching Ito's videos, I think it would have been, it would sort of stick in place much better. But that was sticking in place perfectly good. So now we've got this nice flat ring, right? And finally, let me see if I can put this into the other shape that I've had it in for a long time, is just with 3 peaks. So let me try doing that. Right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go sort of as peaky as we can there, and then we're going to go back down on this one. Oh wow, I'm doing something different than I've done before. Okay, well, fine, let's do it this way. So we really are, simply bending each of these. There we are. Crazy. Okay, so down and then up and down. Okay, so are right. So, in general, pretty easy to to make. So now we've got sort of this 3-peak structure, and I, without thinking about it much, as you can see, made it so that they sort of peak in this pointed way. You can also make them so that they peak in this flat way, but so that means here you're a little bit of messiness here that we'd want to clean up, because you want you want each of your corners to look like this, right? Let's see. There's that one being trouble, but this one. All right, well, I'm not going to be expert enough to do this in real time, but you can see that I've got I've got a somewhat messy sort of 3-peak 3-trough structure, right? And you flip it up and it looks like that. Now, also fun, and what I originally meant to do is to make these be flat at the top. Maybe this is easiest to see if we do it over here. Right, so now I've got this little folded corner here, and I can do those there as well. So there you go. That's a little bit more of a, well, I don't know, a little bit more of a flat top kind of approach. So that's it. You know, you can bend whatever you want. And you know, generally this sort of thing tends to work really well for anything that's a hexagon, including, you know, sort of a more triangular, you know, uneven-sided hexagon. You know, by the time you get to this size, you do want to make a big hole. But if this were a hexagon that was like, you know, where the short sides were 5 and the long sides were 20, you know, that would also work fine. In fact. Right, there's all sorts of stuff attached to it, but here's you know, here's one that started out its life as maybe a 4 by 20 flat triangular hexagon type thing, and then I bent it into this bowl shape, and that's actually easy to do. We can also just flex around with that. Indeed, here, just for fun, let's try just flattening this baby back out again on one of the corners. So may need to use the card to do this because it's a bit stickier, which actually is better in a lot of ways. And then once I've done that, I can just go. Ooh. Can we bring the camera down here? All right, so there we are. Now we're flattened out again. Made a bit of a mess there, but you can straighten this all out as you go, and boom. Now we're back to just having a nice flat pentagonal guy, although admittedly one that looks a bit like an Imperial battle cruiser. Okay, so that's it. Thanks.